So, I'm Stuart from Air Model Railway Group, and I've dragged Martyn from Hornby away from the stand for a wee second, just to have a quick word. So, thanks for taking the time to speak to me. Um, what is it about TT120 that you think is catching people's imagination?
Size. I think that the first thing that people do is they can see that all of a sudden that I can fit that in the space in my home. I can make this work, and that's been a massive barrier for a lot of people wanting to hobby. Double O is the leading scale.
Yeah,
and that has the most entry-level products. So that, from a product perspective, that always seems the way in. But people have space and can't commit to that. And then they can see with TT that, wow, you can get all of this stuff in the space. You can do it to make it a bit smaller. So then the second thing is actually then look at the detail of the actual models. In fact, yes, you can get sound there and get lighting. And it seems to be the most ideal size for a lot of people starting out.
Yeah. So, and what do you think it is about TT120 that maybe is more attractive than like the Hornby?
Well, Engage insurance, Engage is well established. There's a lot of products, there's a lot of options there. But the bigger you can go up in scale, essentially, the more detail you can add. And I think what TT captures is pretty much all the detail that you can get, especially in diesels, in say double O gauge. You can get it down to the scale. And I think that's a challenge when you take it down even further to end. And that comes a problem with the steam engines as well. It's difficult to get all that working mechanism and something that size. And TT seems to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, and is that the reason that, as a company, Hornby decided to go with the TT scale, and instead of going N scale?
Well, yes, I think that's fair to say that because we knew that with TT we could do that a little bit more. Then Engage is quite established. It is almost a bit of a no-brainer. In that would be the route to go rather than going to the Engage market, which is already established. So the great thing is what the big market. From the customer's perspective, the great thing is they have choice. They have now, 3 wheels, a lot more scale. You can stick with these 3 for the minute. They've got options where they can go, and it's then about what suits. Some people with Engage, for example, it's a bit too small for me. It's a bit too big. A lot of people love that. They're fine with it, and it's great that we're not all the same. I think they've got needs, and they've now got the menu of options.
I mean, the models certainly are, they're quite impressive with all the kind of DCC sound and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming is it the next 18 Hornby decoders that you're using?
Yes, so the locos we have here is 66 in the A183. These are what next 18s in. Smaller locos like the R8, J50 in this area, they have to be smaller and can and can't have sound. It's not the easiest thing to have sound, it's something that's not done possible. The really interesting HC7000 with TT when it was launched, it was customers were given the option of going and DCC for HC7000, and a lot of people have gone straight into the HC7000 route. So that sort of tech side of it, whether it's the controlling for the app or whether it's the fact that you can put the sound on and off and have sound, it seems to really, really resonate really well with people who are coming into it. Where I think with the double O market, a lot of people came into it as DC and then went up to DCC.
Yeah.
In TT, they've gone straight to the up.
Great. And obviously, you're expanding the modelling all the time. I understand there's a big announcement coming soon, hopefully.
There is a big announcement coming on the 21st of April, which is our April TT announcement launch, which will be on our website. Which is around about 10 o'clock. And that's our biggest of the year, so it's a biggie. There is new tooling in there. But it's quite exciting. It's actually quite difficult doing interviews one, so I'm thinking right now we're talking about stuff you see in front of you.
Yeah.
We've also got an announcement in April, but then also in my head and the development guys' heads, we've got stuff we're working on for the next year.
Yeah.
So I've got to really be careful not selling things.
Yeah.
Back. But there are a lot of really exciting things coming. There are things coming from the manufacturers as well, which compatible. At the time, they're just over their J&As. They're absolutely perfect in the 66. You know, the Pico wagons that are being done go well with steam like that as well. So it's, yeah, there's some really nice options now out there for want to get the railway modelling. And then the objective always for TT, it wasn't to offer, let's say, the people in the room or the people in the hobby on the scale. Yes, we did that, but it was about getting new people in. That was the main objective of it, is knocking down that barrier of space. And there's still a lot more work to it. It's great. The questions that we get at a show like this about TT are people that are starting up, and not people that know about a lot of things. And that's really interesting. That's great for the hobby.
Yeah,
it tells you that there are a lot of, I think historically it shows people always say, oh, there's lots of kids here. That's great because they're going to buy a train set and be the future of it. And that's very true. There's also the bit in the middle where there's a lot of adults who are coming into it for the first time or coming back to their childhood. Yeah. And it seems to be TT is really resonating.
And obviously, with us being at exhibitions and Model Rail Scotland, obviously there aren't many TT exhibitions out at the moment. Can you see that changing?
I hope it can change. Yeah, and there are, and we're hearing now some of the influencers now are giving it a go. And I think the biggest sort of challenge, but also opportunity, is really with the clubs and actually having TT layouts in there. But there is another side. So if we think of like more railway clubs, yes, they are great because people that are like-minded come together. But also, a lot of people go to them because they haven't necessarily got the opportunity to run their trains at home. Yeah, but in TT, can run them at home. So it kind of, the two things potentially go against each other. But that is going to be, I think, having really good exhibition layouts is going to be really good for TT. But it's not the actual deal now. The main here is you can do this in your home. Yeah, that's the real thing is you can do this. You can fit it in, you can start to look at what the same. Yeah. Now we have the Grantstone train set as well, which is £700 price point. It means that for a relatively okay amount of money, you can just give it a little bit of a go. And the team can play with it without putting it into £200. Yeah. More options out there.
Right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, and it was a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you very much.
Thank you.